Hello, inclusive leaders. Welcome to Lead at Any Level Live. I am so excited to have you with me today. Please let me know in the comments, wherever you're watching this, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, who you are and where you're from. I would love to say hello to you and shout you out from here. And if you're watching this on replay, be sure to comment so I'll know that you caught it on the replay. Just use hashtag replay when you're posting if you're not watching live. That way I'll know, because I always want to know how you're finding me and who you are and where you are. So today I want to talk about feedback and why feedback is an equity tool in organizations. But first, let me tell you just a little bit about me, and in case you're new to me. My name's Amy Waninger. I'm the founder and CEO of Lead at Any Level, and I'm the Inclusion Catalyst. I do this work through assessments, advisory services, and training for companies that promote from within. And really what I'm trying to do is create inclusive leaders everywhere. I think leaders can be anywhere, should be everywhere in your organization. And I want to help you by turning all of your high potential employees, no matter what they look like, no matter who they are, no matter where they sit, into inclusive leaders. So today I want to talk about feedback. This is something that is so important because studies show that people who are different from their manager in some meaningful way, different gender, different race, different cultural background, even if they're in a different office, are less likely to get good, useful feedback from their manager. And a lot of the research around this focuses on gender differences. So women are about, I don't remember the exact number, but it's, like they get 75% less, something like that, actionable feedback than their male counterparts. Now, I want to ask you, regardless of what the percentages are, let me ask you, what do you think would happen if you had 5 houseplants sitting in your window and you only watered one of them? Chances are, out of the 5, only one of those would grow and thrive. Well, the same thing is true when you're talking about feedback with your team members. And a lot of times managers will have 1 or 2 people on their team that they are more comfortable with, that they will give really good actionable feedback to. They see the potential in these people and they really want them to grow. So they put all of their energy, all of their effort, all of their feedback into those 1 or 2 people. And what happens? Those people thrive because they know exactly what they're doing well, and they know exactly what they need to improve on, and they know exactly what mistake they made yesterday that they don't want to repeat today. Now, that's great for those 1 or 2 people, but the other people on the team might be languishing because if they don't know specifically what behaviors are most effective, what behaviors are least effective, and how to do better, chances are they're going to keep making the same mistakes. They're not going to know when to reinvest or re-engage in those effective behaviors. And it's going to cause a lot of trial and error for them. It's going to take them longer to get to a level of performance that it might take someone who's getting really good feedback. Now, good feedback doesn't always mean positive feedback, but it should include positive feedback. So a lot of times what will happen is managers will say, "Great job today." What does that mean? So as an employee, if you are an employee, you need to get comfortable with saying, "Can you tell me more about that? What specifically went well?" And if you are a manager, you need to get good at being specific about what went well, what was done well, and why it mattered. These are the kinds of cues and the kinds of nudges and direction that your team members really are seeking from you. Some of them more than others. But the sad thing is the ones who need it most are the ones who maybe didn't grow up in an environment where, their parents worked in the kinds of jobs they're in. Maybe they're first generation college graduates, maybe they're first generation, in a white collar job or, in an office setting like I was. And the rules aren't really clear to those of us who are new there, who weren't, born into that work. And so sadly, first generation folks in that kind of a work environment are the ones who need the feedback most. But because those people are more likely to be either women or Black people or brown people or immigrants, we are less likely to get that feedback. So I want to challenge you this week as a leader, regardless of where you sit in the organization, regardless of your title, to think about feedback as a tool for equity in your organization. Pay attention to who gets feedback and who doesn't, who gets specific, actionable, positive feedback, who gets specific, actionable, constructive feedback, and how consistently is it happening. And if you are in a leadership role, I want you to take stock right now of your team and think about the last time for each person on your team. When was the last time you gave them actionable, specific, positive feedback? And when was the last time you gave each person actionable, specific, constructive feedback? Now, I know a lot of times male managers especially will say, I don't like giving constructive feedback to women on my team. And the reason is, as silly as this sounds, the reason is a lot of times men are afraid that women will cry. And to that, I would like to offer that I'm a woman. Sometimes I cry when I hear things I don't want to hear, or when I'm uncomfortable, or when I'm afraid, or when I'm angry. A lot of times when I'm angry, I'll cry. People will think that that I am sad, but no, it's just me trying not to scream. And here's what I want you to know. To all the men who might have ever been my manager, or to any man who might be managing a woman like me, is, so what if I cry? It's okay. I would rather cry because I'm getting information I don't want than cry because I lose my job, or cry because I'm never going to get promoted, or cry because I keep making the same mistakes that other people know that I'm making and nobody has told me. So I want you to let that go for just a little bit. If you are a manager who is afraid that your people will cry if you give them feedback, and just know that if you're doing it in the right way, that's on them, not on you. And, they probably know that. And two, that it is better for them to cry in the privacy of your office about having made a mistake than it is for them to go make the same mistake publicly tomorrow. So that is my little snippet for this week around feedback. But I want you to think about really, how much feedback are you giving? To whom are you giving it? How regularly? Where are you getting your feedback? And how actionable is it? Now, all this week on Lead at Any Level, I have too many series now. Sorry. Okay. So Monday at noon Eastern right here is Lead at Any Level Live. Every weekday at 4 p.m., I send out leader tips, which are short videos, 3 minutes or less, on a specific topic. And this week I'll be talking about effective tips for giving feedback. So each day at 4 p.m. Eastern this week, every weekday, it will be leader tips, and it'll be all focused on feedback and how to give good feedback. Now, on Thursday, I think we're still waiting on final approval, but I think on Thursday at noon Eastern on Including You, I'll be joined by Earl Newsome. Earl is an executive in the technology space, and he's the co-founder of an organization called Tech Pact, which is a way for tech leaders to engage in equity work in the tech industry. And so it's a really great conversation. I really enjoyed talking to Mr. Newsome, and I'm excited to share that with you. Hopefully this week, if something changes, then I'll have to shuffle some things around. But I think that'll happen this week, assuming we get approval. If we don't, then I will have a surprise mystery guest for you on Thursday that will be equally interesting and equally engaging, I promise. I want to take just a moment before I close out today to thank a couple of people. I spent the last year in a mentorship program with Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver, and sorry about my dog. And part of the reason I've been doing all of these videos is because she pushed me to do it. So Dr. Avis, I know you're busy and you're probably not watching, but just in case you are, I want to say thank you for making me better. Thank you for giving me the feedback I needed to move forward in my business and to move forward in my own, comfortable in my own skin and on video in this way. So thank you so much. I also want to thank Dr. Mary McConnor, who is part of that group. She's in the group right now, and she encouraged me to pursue accreditation with the Better Business Bureau. So Dr. Mary, if you are watching, I want you to know that I did it. I actually did it. I got accredited with the Better Business Bureau in Central Indiana. So Lead at Any Level is now a Better Business Bureau accredited business, thanks to a suggestion from someone in my mentoring group, in my peer group. And we add this to, I'm going to be bold and say, a wall of certifications. Lead at Any Level is a certified women's business enterprise, meaning we're more than 51% or more than 50% owned by me, a woman. We are also a woman-owned small business, so we meet both the criteria for women business ownership and small business. Lead at Any Level is an LGBT business enterprise. We are also recognized by the Indiana Department of Transportation as a disadvantaged business entity and as an airport concession disadvantaged business entity. And we're not stopping. We've got more work to do. We've got some state and some city certifications that we're going to go through. But I have to say, I'm pretty proud of this Better Business Bureau accreditation, because what this means is that I'll be able to tap into some more local networks of businesses, but also that I'll be able to build a really strong online reputation in the local business community, as well as globally, like we already have. And so that means a lot to me. So thank you, Dr. Mary, for that little nudge. I'd also like to congratulate my good friend and peer in that mentorship, Angel Henry. Angel, you're doing amazing work. I see you. I see you every week putting in the work and doing a great job. Angel was recently featured on Community Link, which is a local news program here in Indianapolis. And here's why this is a big deal to me. I was eating my breakfast and I knew she was going to be on the show. We had talked about it, but I didn't know when. And I really wasn't in my consciousness that, what was on TV. I just kind of came down. I was drinking my coffee, eating my breakfast. And I hear this story coming from the TV that's really familiar about being a Black woman and a tech executive. And I thought, wow, that sounds like Angel. And then it clicked that it was Angel's voice. Well, I turn around and there she is on TV with Caroline Mays having an interview on Community Link on Daybreak on Saturday morning. And she did a phenomenal job. Her book is called Dents in the Ceiling. Hold on one second. I can get it and show you. Her book is called Dents in the Ceiling. And it's all about how Black women can rise in corporate spaces and how allies can help them. So I encourage you to check this book out if you haven't already. And I think that's it for this week. But I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Avis. Thank you to Dr. Mary. Congratulations to Angel on getting a little bit more momentum behind your brand. And I love watching you soar. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week. I will see you every weekday at 4 p.m. With Leader Tips videos. I will see you Thursday at noon Eastern, right here with Including You. And I'll be back next week, Monday at noon, with another Lead at Any Level Live. If your organization needs any help transforming its reclusive nerds into inclusive leaders, if you are interested in assessments that could provide a solid baseline for the diversity and inclusion work that you're doing or planning to do, if you are looking for advisory services around your inclusive leadership initiatives, I would love to help you. You can schedule time on my calendar at www.workwithlaal for Lead at Any Level.com. Again, that's www.workwithlaal.com. And we can talk about assessments, advisory, or training services that might be a good fit for your organization. I would love to help you get where you want to go in 2023. Thank you all so much. I will see you again next week for another Lead at Any Level Live.